Everyone. Today we are going to do the table in Microsoft Word, making exercise 5.5 as an example because it has everything that we need. Removing of borders, right align the figures. That is always the case when you have numbers or figures in Microsoft Word. You always right align. It has calculating the total, it has decimal tabs, it has footnotes. So those are the things that you need to know regarding the tables. So now let's start by creating a table. For you to create a table, you need to go to Insert, then Table, the down arrow, and then you go to Insert Table, and then now you check your exercise. How many columns, how many rows do you need? These are columns, and then these are rows. These are rows, and then you select it here in this small crop. I want 5 columns, 5 rows, if that's the case. And then now the auto fit behavior. In this case, let us check 5.5. 5.5, it is saying type the following table in landscape on an A4 page with fixed column width behavior in Arial 11. Insert your header with your name, surname, and student number. Insert your footer with your exercise name. Okay, the other thing that we need to check is here they say fixed column behavior. So this is here. This is it. I'm just moving it closer. This is the first one. This one is auto fit. You select that one if they are looking for that, and then you just say okay. The other thing, firstly, before you could type your you could insert your table, change the page layout to landscape. That is very important before you insert the table. In this case, it is in landscape. And then from there, when you want to remove borders, like in exercise 5, you could see that the top part and the left part of row of column 1, row 1, it is removed. How do we remove borders like this? You see this one. This is the whole exercise. I'm just doing an example here at the bottom. To remove borders, you go to layout. Immediately when you look here, you see layout is gone there up, but immediately when you click inside the table like this, you highlight wherever you don't want borders. Immediately when you click inside the table tools would be active, and then it has design, and then it has layout. Okay, so now we want to remove borders. We go to design, and then we have borders. We don't want the top border, so as you could see, we're just going to click on the top border, and then we go back again. We don't want the left border. So you see here, you don't have, the moment you click on them, you don't have. I'm going to repeat myself. The first way to remove the border, you got it here on design, and then you have borders here. And then the other way, it is here home. To still remember, you have borders as well in a home. This one, use the down arrow. You don't want the top border, you click on the top border to remove it. You don't want the left border, you click on it, and then the borders will be then removed. That as far as borders and as concerned. If they want you to shade, for example, gray shade this one, You highlight first if you want to gray shade something. Listen now carefully. You don't shade the column or the row here using this A that has a red thing, because the moment you use that, what is now going to happen is the font, only the font that is going to change. But when you shade the column, the whole column or row, we use this bucket. You see this bucket over there? Using the down arrow, and then you select the color of your choice. So we always go with the bucket when we shade. Okay, now let's now do the work. As far as the work is concerned, it says that the bold, the center, uppercase, and the font, you know how to do that. Let's firstly do the footnote. The footnotes, do you see the small one there next to 4? That is the footnotes, that is number 1. And then we have number 2 there next to out. And then we have number 3 there next to compression. So what does that mean? It is always means that when we want to do the footnotes, we click wherever that you see the symbol or the number. It's either they will use the small star or the number, straightforward. In this case, they use the number. So what does that mean is you click next to 4. You don't put number 1. You apply the footnote instruction. So this is how you are going to do it. You click where you see the small 1 or the small 2 or the small 3. In this case, we are going to click there at number 4, just after number 4, and then we go to references, and then you see here we are looking for footnotes. We select the down arrow of the footnotes. This is always the case. The footnotes, it is always below text. Make sure it is always below text. The number format, it is always 1, 2, 3, and then it's always starts at 1. We are doing the numbers. That is why we have 1, 2, 3 there, and then it starts at 1. You see, you are going to, the computer going to insert for you automatic 1 there as an exponent. There at the bottom or below text, it is going to insert for you the footnote where you need to type. What does that mean? What happened in 2014? I'm just gonna copy because it is just, it is there, and then you just type it. You type these sentences now that are below. Where there's number 1, you type number 1, number 2, you type number 2. Remember, all footnotes, they comes in small numbers, and then you just follow the font size that is provided. And also remember that the sentence, it always starts with the uppercase letter. Now we go to number 2. Our number 2, it is next to out. Here it is, scale out. So we are going to click there next to scale out, and then you go again where references, footnotes location, it is always below text. It is always 1, 2, 3. Start at 1, you don't change anything, and then you just say insert. The moment you say insert, look, the computer will read as if, yeah, now that you are coming for the second time, it is going to put 2 there because already number 1, it is there. And then below that, you are now then going to have, it does not have to have a space in between. That is why you see I'm deleting. I'm just going to copy those sentences because I already typed them. Now that I'm using one hand, guys, to record. So now we are going to the third one. The third one is next to compression, so we are going to click there so that our number 3 will be active there. We go to references, footnotes, the down arrow. It is always below text. It is always 1, 2, 3, and then we insert. The moment you insert that, you are going to have number 3 here, and then you are going to have number 3 here as well. Remember, every time when we type everything in Microsoft Word, we always activate our show and hide. You see, I have activated my show and hide. It is also already telling me I have entered 3 times instead of 2. That is far as the footnotes. Okay, now let's say, for example, you are inserting the symbols footnotes. To insert the symbol footnotes, you click like the numbers. You click anywhere where there's a star. You will see the first star, and then the other one will have 2 stars, the other one will have 3 stars. You click where there's first star, and then you go to references, you go to footnotes. It is always below text. Now here we don't need numbers. That is why we need to go to symbols, and then you check whatever the symbol that you are looking for. Just go up, and then here is the star. I'm going to insert it once, and then I'm going to say insert. Immediately when you insert, it is going to be to do a mixture now that I have just I did not delete the numbers. I'm just making an example, but let me just delete the numbers so that I don't confuse you even more. Let me just delete the numbers so that I don't confuse you even more, because we are done with the numbers. Let's just focus on the stars. And then you're going to have 1 star there. 1 star, you're going to have 1 star, and then you type whatever you want to type. You go for the second time. Let's say, for example, you have 2 stars here. You go to references, you go to footnotes, the down arrow. It is always below text, and then you go away, symbols. You click on the symbol for the first time. Remember, we want 2 symbols here because this is number 2. We go for the second time, we click again. Now we have 2 symbols, and then you say insert. The moment you insert, you're going to have 2 symbols. You type whatever you type, and then again for the third time, the symbols. Go to references, footnotes, the down arrow. It is always below text, and then you go to symbols. So this time you're going to select it 3 times. 1, symbols, 2, symbols, 3. And then you say okay, and then insert. You see you have now 3 symbols, and then you type whatever the sentence that is there. That's according to your exercise. All right, now let's move on. I want us to do decimal tabs. Remember, as you could see, this, what I have here, it is right aligned because it is figures. So it is important to remember to right align all the figures in Microsoft Word. Now we are going to do decimal tabs. Decimal tabs means that all the tabs like this, they should be aligned to one another. Let me do the decimal. And then decimal tabs, columns, you don't right align them. You only right aligned the figures that has the plain typing like this. Where you need to activate the decimal tabs, you don't right align. You leave them wherever they are. The decimal tabs will decide. The decimal tabs will decide where you want them. Okay, let's do the decimal tabs. I'm gonna do this one because it does not have tabs. Let me just say okay. just gonna left align it. Just gonna do them roughly. Just, you see, they are not aligned, they are just sitting elsewhere, they are not aligned to one another. Okay, what does that mean? It means these tabs, like this one's called it, these columns, they already did the decimal tabs, so that is why I'm not going to touch on them. I'm going to do this one and that one, so that you understand decimal tabs. All you need to do is just to highlight the columns, including the totals that has decimal tabs, like this one. Remember, you don't write a line like this. And then you go to the top corner. You see where I am, the top corner of your left. You click, you see when you put your mouse, it is telling you it is left tab. When you click again, it is center tab. When you click again, it is right tab. And then until you have this one that has a small dot over there, when you click on top of it, it says decimal tabs. That's what you are looking for. And then, as you could see also here, the columns are divided according to the certain numbers. For these columns, you can go until this part. For this column, you can go until this part. So even the ruler is divided into certain columns. So when you get here, you just decide in the middle of the column, where do you want to set your decimal tabs? There is no given number to set the decimal tabs, like when you do the tabs in your business letters. This one, you choose the one that you think it is going to align everything, and then it is not going to hide any number for you. I'm just going to click here. You just left click just to activate the tabs. As you could see here, it is going to give you the symbol of the decimal tabs, and then you could see now our tabs are aligned. Our tabs are aligned to one another. This one is not because the numbers are more, but the moment I remove one, they become aligned. Let's check these ones. This one we're not aligned, and then we just highlight everything, remember, and then we check where do we want them. We want them here, 11. All the tabs are now aligned again. And then the last thing I'm going to do for you is how do we do now the calculations. How do we calculate the totals in Microsoft Word? You click inside the table where you want to do the calculations. Remember I told you we have design, we have layout. The moment you click inside the table, in this case we are going to work on the formula. You just click on the formula, and then it's going to give you something like this. If they want you to crop this, you can make a screenshot of this. If they want to see how did you do then the formula, and then for that you are just going to go to here, and then you search for snip tool. If they want you to snip tool this, and then you just go to new. It's more like when you crop your picture even in your phone, and then you just crop this. Maybe they will want you to paste it somewhere, and then you just say okay. Here you don't add anything, the total will just be activated automatic. In an instance where they want you to just paste whatever the total is, how did you calculate the total, then you would just enter anywhere and then just Control V or paste. Just paste whatever you have just crop. I'm here now, I'm just calculating the total. I say we click, and then we go to layout, we go to formula, and then this is what you snip tool. Just go to search, you search for snip tool, snipping tool, and then you select new, because now this is the new one, and then you just crop it just like that. And then from there you just say okay. So you only do that if they want you to do that. You just click and then you go to formula. The formula will be there for you automatic, and then you say okay. That's how you do the totals in Microsoft Word. I hope this video is going to be helpful to you, and I hope I have covered everything. Okay, the other thing that I did not mention is to how do we then activate the font for everything. You can highlight everything and then change the font. And the size, you can do that. Or if this one that is outside the table, don't forget this one, the footnote as well. They come with different font and size. So if they say this font is that one, remember to change even that one. So even for the footnotes, okay, here now we am. You just click inside and then you just highlight the table here, the left corner, and then you can change the font for inside the table. Okay guys, thank you so much.